Slopes, man. Fresh powder. There's all it is. There's chalk and bubbles and some candy. No grass because I don't smoke grass.
What's up, everybody? So we are live. We're gonna do a live
Every time.
We're gonna do a live recording, and then we'll do a post production of the episode later. Episode 26.
It could be our thing. Is like you always start it live when just mid sentence and something.
That's what he said. He warned us. We just
Did he?
didn't pay attention.
I literally just was telling you exactly what I was gonna do.
You were
Oh.
skiing. You were still skiing.
Some fresh powder, bro.
Surprised you got here so early. I
No,
guess
that was
it's
what was
Saturday.
suspicious.
I would have got here a little early, but
I mean, you got here 20 minutes early.
Yeah. What's
So,
that?
if you're watching this, and I'm sure nobody's watching it yet because we're 45 seconds into it, but if you pick up on this, let us know if the audio sounds weird. We really didn't do much testing. Everything's registering. And so for purposes for the post-production, I'm going to go into the transition.
How long is that?
It's over.
We got that sped up a little bit.
I'm so like,
All right. So let's bring this together. I mean, it's been how long has it been? How many weeks? At least a month.
Yeah.
we've actually sat down in here and done one. It's been
Yeah.
a while.
We did two in the car.
In the
Well,
car.
kinda. We did the one in the car to Kissimmee, and then we did another one. I guess just a very brief one on the way to Kissimmee last week.
Mm-hmm.
But set in the studio, we haven't done in that in a
while.
A while.
Couple months.
Mm. I'm trying to remember what all was going on. I think we were about to start the Kissimmee project.
What, the past couple months?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Since
man.
the last
I don't
time we
know.
did it.
Feels like we've kind of finished up on one female house and then open up another one somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, for those that don't know, we opened another house. Hey, what's up, Stacy?
Hey,
So-
girl.
What up,
Good.
girlfriend? Yeah. So we opened up Bernadette, and then I don't know if we had a podcast since we opened up Wells. I don't think we have, because I don't think we've done a podcast since we got Becca, and Becca was in Bernadette.
Yeah. And we kind of opened up Wells like end of March.
Yeah. I don't think so.
So it's
I think so.
weeks ago.
Just to catch people up that maybe be watching this later that watched episode 25 and they're like, "Hey, what the heck happened?" Like it was, we definitely time traveled.
We started a meeting. We got a new meeting place.
We got our meeting back. Yep.
New location. It's
What is
been
it?
great.
1801 North Lockwood Ridge Road. It's at Grace Life Church, where Pastor Joe and them are. Wednesday nights now instead of Saturday, but it's still at 7:00 live on Facebook. So much fun. We've for as far as the houses, like it's really starting to transform. Like I think the one thing that kind of gets me the most is the Discord server.
Yeah.
Like
There's
in a
lot
good
of-
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love it. Just to see the interaction, the camaraderie, the different channels, the leadership channel, the
It's all day long.
content.
All day long. I'm like,
Yeah. You got to take an hour out of your day to.
Hey, Ruthie. Ruthie from Kissimmee's on the chat.
So,
Hey, Ruthie. Hey, Peach. You mean Chanel?
yeah, Savage
Chanel's
Peach.
Peach Savage.
Peach. Interesting.
Interesting. Really interesting name there, Chanel. But yeah, like,
We should ask her what's that about?
Nah,
What is the
let's-
peach?
nah.
do we need
Savage?
to know? Is it just your favorite fruit?
She just eats them all crazy.
Yeah, this is like
can't get enough
total
of 'em.
savage. I love peaches.
Did you ever see Con Air?
Yes,
Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage.
Yeah,
He
of
could
course.
he could eat a peach for hours.
classic. So yeah, we started a new meet with in the Discord server with the houses. Like I feel like the houses are. I don't know. I just feel like they're so in sync. Like everything just seems like it's clicking, firing on all cylinders. As far as like a program, it's like we're starting to really.
It's becoming more organized.
Yeah.
And then I would say Greg, Nolan, Beth, Angela, Vinny, like we've got some solid leaders in the house, and everything is kind of starting to feel more unified.
Yeah, leadership improved. Houses are in the
Shout
process
out,
of
shout out.
cleaning up. I mean, it's only up from here. Like I think a couple months ago, I thought that was our worst day. This is kind of it. Like it probably only gets better from here. You
Yeah.
know? So
And every people are getting new people are getting jobs. They're getting their IDs. Like everybody's like seems to be pretty
I think
driven.
we're getting better at the process. That whole process.
Yeah.
Taking someone from
I think-
nothing to something.
I think that break from the meeting was much needed. It really, it took a lot off my plate to deal with that every week and opened me up to the, hey, how's it going, Anne Marie? Thanks for coming over from the Tiff and Flip show. Yeah, appreciate you. She said, love everything you stand for that I've seen so far. Well, stick around. I'm sure we'll be the
Stay
first
tuned.
first to disappoint you. No, but thank you so much for checking us out. So that break, once we started the meeting back up, it was so cool to see how I guess I just always been like, I'm super control freak when it comes to the meeting, and just for out of fear that it would
Were you?
out of fear that it would fail, right? Like, you know what they say, don't send Andrew to do a man's job. That's what. No, but now
Or it's like in the big book, it's like you always have to be the
like having Nicole, having Beth, having like these people, having Flip, who's like back there talking to everyone in the chat, where like just not knowing how to do those things. Nicole's just taking the schedule and ran with it. I don't even have to worry about it. And she was like, just send me a copy of the slides, and she's on that. Like, I realized I can just let go, and people still ask my opinion, and that's great. I'm kind of in tune with it.
where you don't feel like you have the weight of all of these things that need to be done all by you. Like we trust that you trust that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, like Flip called me the other day, asked me about like his presentation. Like, is it a testimony? Is it a this? And I kind of give my experience rather than my opinions. Like, from my experience, like you have an hour, you have close to 50 minutes. So if you're telling your testimony, be prepared to have something to do after you're finished. Like if you want a panel, if you want to, however you want to form it, it's like now we've got an army of people that can go up there rather than just 3 or 4 of us.
Solid people too.
What are you guys learning? Like, do you feel like you've learned anything?
It was as far as what? What do you mean?
I mean, just how, like, I just kind of look back and say, okay, well, we should have done this maybe a little differently, or I could have avoided a lot of stress if I would have just let go of so much control early.
I think just having that leadership, that chat, and just having so much communication between everybody. And when we're like, hey, we need to do this, or we need to come up with an idea for this, and we got like 3 or 4 people like or just jump on doing things. So like I think the collaboration's great, and just that whole everything. Like I'm just kind of amazed at how God's brought us to a place as far as like the location for this meeting. I think is much better suited for our meeting.
Yeah, for what we do
to grow. And then also we've got some new people that have kind of like came into the mix, and now we have like Beth, and we have Nolan, we have like just like so many solid people that I think are great for what we're trying to accomplish.
Ruthie said we have a great team. She said God provides you a ladder of people. We need to learn to trust them, and that's so true. It's like, I guess that's the biggest thing. That's the word. It's like I just didn't trust anybody else. Not that I disliked them. It's just like I just didn't trust them.
Yeah, but people now want to be involved. Like they're just taking a position and running with it. And
the 50-50 raffle, right? Like the 50-50 raffle. Shout out to Beth and Nolan for like, I don't want to say they forced us to do it. It was just not something I think I
brought it up at the old meeting. You're like, no, we're not. That's
exactly.
That's a Saturday night thing. And I left it alone.
It was probably because it was you that
such
probably
a gambler. And
no, but I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of looked at, I just wanted to be different, but also not like be corny. Right. But realizing how much fun people have with that.
People love it.
And like how much it actually helps our cause,
a whole bunch of degenerate gamblers.
It's like how much the first week it was
10%
like
probably just shows up for that.
Could you
It's
imagine how many?
$120.
You imagine how many people would leave if we did it in the first 5 minutes? Like,
Right. Yeah.
can we do another one?
All kinds of.
I never thought about that.
Anne Marie said, I would consider myself a recovery adjacent. I grew up with an alcoholic father, going to Alateen, then dated an addict for 13 years as an adult. Now not currently going to any non-meetings. She's not going to any non-meetings.
What's what?
That's
we
what.
need more.
Yeah, we
What
need
else?
more. We need more Anne Marie.
Are you still with this person that the recovering addict that you've been with for 13 years, or
Then dated.
dated?
I'm assuming that's past tense.
Okay.
Recovery adjacent. I'm not really sure what that means. Like, what do you interpret that as, Joel?
She's not an addict, but she's
Kind of like she was doing Al-Anon, or she was.
Yeah, Alateen
Alateen.
when she was
Yeah.
a teenager, I'm assuming, and then dated an addict. So she's been around it.
So she's like
People suffering
close.
from.
Yeah.
She's kind of a victim of
Poor
it
thing.
from.
You know what's
know.
weird is like being an addict, like in recovery, which coming on 3 years, it's like I think of my family members that's still in active addiction. What's weird is like those conversations are so different. Like you see yourself in these people, and you see the clients that we work with every day in these people, and you love them so much, but it's like you just know if they don't want it and they're not willing to surrender to it, there's just nothing you can really do to help. Right? Like, what do you do?
Keep trying.
Yeah, I don't know. I being adjacent or around that now, it can be some of the most stressful things. Like like we have so many guys that, like you say, we just don't want to give up on them, or we don't give up on people, but they have to like actively want this and be seeking.
But it's also a process. I mean, for a guy, we just even saw it at the last meeting. It's just like that little reminders of like, I mean, I used to freak out 3-4 years ago. I was freaking out on, I don't know, people relapse and stuff like that. And I realized even in my own struggle, it's just always been a process that, I mean, the right amount of pain and the right perspective, the right discomfort of trying something new. I mean, it's just we don't know the antidote to it all. So
No.
Push, pull, guide.
Yeah, it's like where I work, there's a sister company that works with, and it's alongside. I mean, like their guys come in my store all the time, and one particular guy, he was in a pretty high up leadership role. It was just blatantly obvious to everyone around him, including myself. And I've seen him maybe like once every few months, how lost he was in addiction. Like he would show up half lit, nose running, smelling like a brewery. And, just like he vanished. Like I don't know if they terminated, laid him off, whatever, went to a detox. And then he just shows up in the store one day wearing one of their uniforms. And I'm like, hey, what's up, bud? He goes, he shops, does everything normal, and he goes to walk out, and he goes, I think I'm going to be at one of you guys' meetings soon. I was like, all right, cool. It's like, how many days you got? He's like, 84. But it was like I was talking to a completely different human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this guy I had gotten to know over the last couple of years shows that you actually get to meet the person, and he's like completely different. And he's excited. I just told him I was proud of him, gave him one of our bracelets, gave him a sticker, like come to the meeting, man. I'll see you there.
It's cool.
Did he come?
Not yet.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Did he make it to the meeting?
I haven't seen it yet. But we had a guy show up at the store a couple days ago. He was riding a bicycle, and he walks in, and I could tell he's like looking for a job. But I just knew right away. I was like, this guy's fresh. He's straight out the detox. He's straight out of jail, something. And he starts talking about how he went to this place looking for a job. I said, are you in recovery? He goes, yeah. How'd you know? I said, I'm in recovery too. And I asked him where he was. He said he was at Grace. And so he immediately starts name dropping Tony, Miranda, and a couple people. He had been in Lightshare. And so we start talking, and I asked him what his DOC was. He was like, well, everything. And just a great conversation. He was at the meeting Wednesday night. And it's just really cool, like, to see how in the community, like how you can really just tell. You can tell when people by the way they talk, whether they are in active addiction or they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see one of us out there anytime, man.
So Anne Marie's getting back to us some more content of what she said. She said he was in active addiction when we met. He was in a MAT program for 10 years. He became an alcoholic in the last few years, passed in September 2023.
Damn.
I think he had a seizure from alcohol withdrawal.
Sorry.
Sorry about your loss. And just to clarify with that, it's, this disease is horrible. Like even as we're pulling people out of the woods, there's people that are still there that are just, when you hear of the things that they're doing, they seem like horrible people, right? We've pulled a couple of girls out there where they're just like, they're battered women, and the guys that they were with are in active addiction and just would, beat the living crap out of them every day. And, what I've noticed with those women is as they continue to get more and farther along in this program, it goes from hating that person to feeling so bad for them that they're still out there suffering. And it's
When you're in it, you don't even really know. That's just life.
we said this to Justin the other day. It's like it'd be nice to get to know the real person, because it's that whoever that is in active addiction is not the real person. You don't meet the real individual until they've been sober for quite some time.
When we were walking back there that day, I don't know if you heard it in the audio, but I don't know if I said it, but I was thinking it was like, thank God there was nothing like that here, or I wasn't there, because I could see myself getting lost in the woods for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I can see how easy it would be if you're just like homeless, and that would have been like a sweet little spot. I'd be back in the woods, just the whole world would be my
You want to explain? You want to
know.
explain to people like what we did and like what the Kissimmee Project was, at least what build up to what it was and what your experience was, and we'll dive into that.
Like okay.
For the people
What's
watching.
the Kissimmee? So Paul, raise your hand, Paul. Paul was homeless in the woods before I met him in Polk County Jail, and if you don't know his story, I got out before him and helped him find his way here, and fast forward 3 years now, and here we are now, still sober, helping people. And I want to say a few months ago, or probably over the course of the last, how long? A year? How long have you been reaching out to people in Kissimmee? He'd be looking up people in jail to see if he knew them, and then he would reach out to them, right?
Yeah. So just a quick summary is like he said, I was homeless in Kissimmee, and I met Andrew in jail, moved to Sarasota, and then started the recovery process. And I went back a couple times. I think both times with Joel, and I started watching videos online. There was a couple people that would go out there and do volunteer work that were going out to the camps, and they were like handing out food, handing out supplies, and I would recognize the people in the woods in the videos. And so I decided one day, I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out to and just let them know, like, hey, if they want to get sober, they look into AA, NA, recovery homes, things of that nature. And I think the first gentleman that I spoke to, his name was Otis. He's still in jail, and started that dialogue with him. And while I was speaking to him, this girl named Becca, I seen her in the daily arrest because I would just check every day.
Was she the first one?
Yeah. Becca was the first one we got down here, right?
Yeah.
So I just I sent her a message and was like, "Hey, it's Paul. I don't know if you remember me." And she was like, "Of course." And of course, initially, and
hey, remember you saved me.
So really quick, just in case you're watching this, Becca, cover your ears. She started junkie stunting me. Like right out the gate, like, hey, put money on my books. Hey, do this, do that. And,
yeah, dog.
Like she didn't believe that this was real, right? Like as many times as we were in jail, and Andrew, you can speak to this, Joel can speak to this. Nobody just messaged us. Did they? Like, did you ever just get messages from a random person?
Oh, no.
Right. So like, it just seems...
Even people that like, cared about me and loved me, like my family, but nobody was just like randomly reaching out and
So
to help me.
I strategically waited. So like anybody I knew that was like an opiate addict, I knew that first 15 days were going to be horrible, right? Like they're going to be going through it. So I think my original message was like, "Hey Becca, it's Paul. I'm with Project Exodus. We have homes." I said, "I hope you're doing okay. How's the withdrawal? How's the detox?" And of course, it was, put some money on my books, blah, blah, blah. And then I sent her my number. I was like, "Give me a call." And she called me and she was like, "It's not going, I just feel horrible." And I just would talk to her almost every day. as she came out of it. And then she got to a point where we really started having in-depth conversations. And it progressed. So she was interested. She got out of jail. Andrew met her and her parents in Lutz and brought her down. And then the word spread like wildfire. And I made a couple of trips up there to pick up a few people. I picked up Miami, I picked up Wendy, Lisa. We picked up Bill, Sam, and Marcus.
Yep.
And on those trips, I would just walk out in the woods, hand out business cards, see people I recognized, and then this last Saturday, a week ago, we all went. Joel, Justin, Andrew, and myself. And I remember before we went, we go to see Becca. Becca at this point has been here a month. She's got a job. She's doing the recovery thing. And I look at her and I'm like, I'm taking them in the woods tomorrow. She goes, do they know what they're getting into? I'm like, no, we'll see. So that being said, we get there, we go to the hospital, we visit this lady named Kelly, who's in the process of moving here. She got diagnosed with endocarditis and had heart surgery. She seems to be doing really well. Yeah, you can message people in jail in Florida and
Smart jail mail.
Smart jail mail. But so we go visit someone, and then we go hit up the Florida Bakery, go eat lunch, and then we go into our first camp. And you guys, in the words of you two, describe what that was like. Like, what did you expect, and then what did it actually turn into? You first, Joel.
I mean, it's everything I expected. In fact, they were way more chill, and they've been there. The professor was there for like 30 years. He said,
Yeah, that was wild.
and when he made that comment, it was like, all right, everything just finally started making sense. I mean, they had mini mansions of
Tarps and
tents and
mattresses
Yeah.
or
you
walls.
could probably find stuff that was brought there 10 years ago
Yeah.
to that location, just makeshift stuff. I just started thinking of all the nights they were tripping out, banging stuff together, man.
Yeah,
They're
it's
just like,
nighttime's wild.
yeah.
It just
Yes.
looks sad, man. It was sad. They're out there, they're dirty, they're they're hooked on.
It did look sad, but when we interviewed that one lady,
Lori.
yeah, was that her name? At
Yeah.
and
With the puppies.
she just just shredded me. Like she was like, you know what? I was in property management for 15 years. My kids are grown. I don't have any bills here. Like, this is my spot. Like, this is, and it was just like, there was like, no, she was like, yeah, there's the heat and the bugs, but like, I don't have to answer to anybody. And it was hard, like almost like she's been practicing that for a while.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't come up with anything.
Well, no, I mean that's the default like trumped argument.
Yeah.
The problem with that, so we're out there talking to people, handing out hygiene kits, and two people in particular that we ran into was Professor and Lori. Both individuals, I was homeless with. I knew them very well. I love them both to death. And what I want to make sure I drive this point home is that the people out in these environments are deep down at their core, like they're just nice. They're great people. They obviously do what they have to do to get by. And sometimes that may be shoplifting. Sometimes that may be buying, selling drugs, scrapping aluminum, whatever. Petty theft. Like that's the panhandling, like Professor was talking about flying a sign, which means panhandling.
You know what it means, Paul?
Yeah. Well, you do?
Yeah.
He was like, I
never
flew a
did it.
sign with
Do they
nothing
have
on it.
laws against that?
They do.
on that
You know,
strip?
oh my
I mean,
gosh.
That's one of those not yets for me, Like it's like
Not yet.
I wouldn't fly a sign, but like I just haven't
To be
I haven't
clear,
did one.
you
I haven't
would
did it
make
yet.
someone get
I
out
really
there.
want to answer that question,
Out
but
there
let me finish this statement.
We'll dance
and then I want to get to you
rude.
what you said. So whenever we meet a lot of people, I don't like pressure them. I shake their hand, treat them like normal humans, like because they are. And then I say, hey, here's this opportunity. Like, what's holding you back? And like one gentleman was like, oh, I can't get an ID. And so for us, that's an easy sell. It's like, oh, no, dude, we got done. Like, what do you need? And, like with Dory, she's like,
I got to talk to my kids and just make sure these goes like where they live in New York.
I can't leave without my dogs.
Done. And then, so the biggest thing is like, getting onto that point. But with Professor and Lori, Professor was talking. Professor's old, like he's 70, I'm assuming, been in the woods for 30 years. So since he was 40, since he was Joel's age, he's lived in those woods.
Yeah.
He rode his pink bike to the woods and
And
never left.
and
Built a
he,
mansion.
the most he ever runs into is he'll maybe get a trespassing, get arrested, and he'll be out in a few days, or he has to move camps, right? And when you ask him, he's like, I get to wake up every morning and listen to the birds.
Yeah.
I don't have no one harassing me. I don't have to live in society. And so from that angle, it sounds peaceful. Lori the same way. My kids are grown.
Yeah. They both mentioned the social aspect of it, which was interesting. I don't have to deal with anybody.
Now, to be
Which is-
clear,
Probably
they,
would love that.
to be-
it hit on every note for me.
And
I'm like, sold.
I get that. Like just not having to
Yeah.
deal with people.
well,
like,
let's
For
not.
an isolated introvert, I was like, sold.
But let's
pack
be
up,
rational
guys.
for a
Let's get outta
second,
here.
because there's truth and
let's
there's
go give me some off.
Yeah.
there's some missing truth there. For one, they can use drugs. They both are active, meth users. I know. I can guarantee.
Yeah, this is all about addiction.
It's definitely
it's,
about addiction, but there's a cycle involved here, because on average, every 6 months to a year, if they're lucky, they'll make it longer than that. They go to jail, right, for a petty theft or breaking and entering, or I'm sleeping in a abandoned house, or or I'm overstaying my welcome on a piece of land I've been told to leave off of.
trespassing
Right.
open containers.
And so it's like a 33 to 40 day sentence. And then so that's your window. That's your window of no drugs, no alcohol. I'm going to go back to the woods. All my stuff's going to be gone. I'm going to have to rebuild back to the bugs, back to this. And that's the window for them. So even if they do have a valid argument that I'm at peace currently, right?
Yeah.
It's only short lived.
Yeah, it's good. It was good weather when we caught him on a.
Yeah.
At
'cause
least they know, if they
Now
weren't
they know.
too high to
Yeah.
remember. But
there was a guy up there. His name's Penn. And Penn was supposed to come back with us Saturday. Went to jail the night before. Right? Like he could have come the 2 Thursdays prior to that. He's like, I'm going to wait another week. I'm going to wait another week. And then boom, he goes to jail for petty theft or something, living that life. And so now he's in jail and the dialogue's taking place. There's 2 other gentlemen that are both in jail. The dialogue's taking place. But this time, rather than it being me, it's Miami. It's Becca.
Right.
It's Sam. They're the military. They're like, hey, listen, you got to try
they
this.
all just smart jail mail on them.
Yep. And like, you got to do this.
What a fantastic place to catch people in jail. Coming off dope. Maybe not. They just got open charge. They don't know if they're getting out, and they just want to. It's like
But there's no meetings that go in there.
no, but at least
yet.
like
Not yet.
it's a great place to catch people when they might have that little bit of willingness, because maybe they all I don't know anybody that's been in addiction who's just loved it. They've wanted to stop even if they've just neglected the thought for a while, but to like be
What's
in
up,
there,
Miami?
sober up, and then just be stuck in your head and like
Well, think about too, like who better to vet these people? Because it's important to know who's serious and who's not, right? Like it's important to know who's just junkie stunting, right? Who's just wanting money on their books or time on their phone or a couple credits on their smart jail mail. Like being able to catch them early and keep that dialogue going. Another thing I think is relatively important too is not conceding to the bond me out theory. I feel like that time is needed. Especially when you're in a misdemeanor charge, like you're probably going to get 30, 40 days anyway. That 30, 40 day reset's so important for us, I believe.
I couldn't wait to go to jail. I knew I was going to jail because I'd seen the plea offer for 90 days and I'd been using for 5 months. And
Love you too, brother.
I was sad to go, but I was like, thank God I'm going to jail because I cannot stop. Could not stop.
Yeah. So we go to those camps, the dogs, the puppies that are running around out there. If you get a chance, you can go to our Facebook page. Hey, what's up, Liz? Liz is also living up there right now. I'm hoping Liz and Josh come down.
Living where? In the woods?
I think they're in a hotel. Where are you guys living at, Liz? I mean, you don't have to put your, you don't have to put your address.
We're
in.
not cops.
Yeah. Liz would be a perfect person to have on to talk about this. What I would say too is like a lot of people out there, you can have really good intellectual conversations with people that, drug induced ones are the best, but like sober conversation. Liz was one of those type of people that were just really smart. Like you just like kind of like when Andrew's like, I felt like Paul didn't need to be in jail. Like he didn't seem like the type of guy that should be like. There's people out there you're just like, you don't seem like you should be on.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought you were innocent
Yeah.
too. You convinced me.
Yeah.
No, but he was a sharp guy,
Where's all the bicycles?
Oh man, Josh has them.
Yeah, what?
So
There's not a lot of bicycles.
you know what's wild
Not
is
a
like
single bicycle in those camps. No?
Oh.
you miss them. So that second camp we
We
went
just didn't
to,
go deep enough.
the camp behind Wawa, right? To be clear, where we seen Lori's camp, that whole trail walking in used to just be tents. I mean,
Yeah.
And what happened was they started developing those apartments behind it, and they ran us all out, and then they bulldozed it. So all of that green grass and stuff it's all regrown up. I was walking through there looking at old campsites and still seeing like small pieces,
Stuff you
I seen
stole
it.
through
stuff
there.
stuff that was still remaining.
Stuff on the trees.
Right.
And
But Liz
Close
and
wires.
Josh used to have a camp there, and Josh and another guy named Gil were really big into bikes. Like they love Schwinn. One of them was a Schwinn fiend.
So
Another
that's
one was
where
like
the
a
bike shop was
Mongoose
at.
guys.
Yeah.
Then what's the other one? The like GT or something.
Paro.
Dude, they would become rolling. Josh would
Dyna.
make these like custom bikes that were like low riders and stuff. But there was so many bikes out there. Frames. I mean, they would fix up these old
Tweaking.
bikes. They would fix these old bikes up and take them to the pawn shop. And
Yeah.
like, there was a whole industry
Yeah.
of ways to make money. But I don't want that to get lost either. Like the creativity. Like Professor brought this cane out that he had made.
No, he said the termites had
Right, but he had like,
whittled it.
yeah, like it just insane.
Beautiful. I took
Yeah.
a picture of it too.
Yeah. If you go to,
Sold. I would have gave him cash.
you don't want to sell it, man.
Yeah.
But mental health issues out there, a lot of people are, instead of, and they got away from the pharmaceuticals and they treat their ADHD and their mental health with, Miami said Josh is the bike bandit and bike guru.
Yeah.
So
So if you're missing a bike or need a bike.
yeah. But like we went to 3 camps. There were so many more. Like we just went to 3. We didn't even really go into them that far. I mean, the first camp we went to, that's a nature preserve, like the Shingle Creek.
Yeah.
Like, it goes all the way to the Everglades. Like you could literally walk through there for the longest time.
So when they arrest people for trespassing back there, just new people take over the camp? Does no one touch it
No.
until they get out of jail?
No.
Everyone knows
No,
who
it's
they
a
are.
free-for-all.
Like,
Like-
Someone's got dibs.
because some of that stuff is valuable just sitting there. So it's like,
yeah. Well,
Like that generator.
so I can tell
Like
you
you
from
got
my
perfect-
experience. I had a truck,
remember
right?
that 4-wheeler?
Oh yeah.
I was
There's-
living out there and I got picked up on a misdemeanor like bench warrant for a traffic ticket. They came through the camps looking for some guy. They ran my ID. I had no idea I had a warrant.
Truck gone.
Oh, dude, I got back. My truck wasn't gone. Thank God I took my keys. But I had a camp with belongings, like all kinds of stuff. I mean, just you name it. When I got back, my truck didn't have a battery in it. like all my stuff was gone. And then I would walk through the camp and then I would see my stuff like scattered in different
Yeah,
camps. And some people would come out and be like, "Hey, here's your stuff."
Hey, that's
We
mine.
didn't
But
think you were getting
I
out.
can't remember what the rule was. We'll have to ask Dory. Miami, what was the rule? Was it like 48 hours, 7 days? Like you had so much time to return back before it was fair game. And the first people that would come to your camp to
It's
take
the law of the woods, man.
yeah, the first people to come
Dang.
and take stuff from your camp was your friends. And
Yeah.
their reasoning was, this is my buddy, stay away from his stuff. If anybody's going to get it, it's me.
Yeah.
I remember I had rugs,
Bunch of Robin Hood
like
stuff.
house rugs, right? So we would have like a tent, and then instead of dirt, you would have a rug. You know what I mean? Like you would try to make it, and I'd look, and that stuff was everywhere. Yeah. So like when people leave, like when Dory left, Dory was like the queen of just has one of everything, and
These are the
First
stories.
time, just the first time seeing Dory walking out of the woods with her mask on.
oh yeah,
It's a visual.
It's just she was standing there, just creepy as hell behind
Yeah,
a tree.
'cause
just
Lori-
started peeping.
freaking mask
Lori was
on.
like,
A
"Who
gas
is
mask?
that?"
yeah.
And I'm like,
Lori's like, that's not
Paul,
Dory.
he would tell me these stories though. He would even was drawing like diagrams of like how he'd set his tent up, and I'm like, what the hell's this guy doing in the woods, man?
Yeah. That's
Miami said as soon as you got in the cop car, it's not yours anymore.
yeah.
That's right.
They all watch everyone from the woods. It's all
Yeah.
a bunch of heads.
Yes. It's like, oh, they just get. But like, yeah. So Dory comes out. So here's one of the really weird things. Is like, to me, this just goes to show how much someone wanted. Dory left everything. Like she didn't. She brought 2 bags, and one of them was just full of old markers. You know, like she just grabbed what she could take and got her dogs and got out of there.
Yeah, the markers thing.
Just grab what you need.
Yeah. So, and ask if you see your stuff in someone else's camp when you get back, do you get to reclaim it?
There's negotiations.
There's negotiations that come into place, but
because it was never yours.
it was right. So you're dealing with
The stolen property.
like you're dealing with street rules. Like if you want it that bad, you're going to have to probably go to war for it.
because it's stolen a third time.
Right. So you're living in the streets, accusing someone of stealing your stuff and saying, "Hey, I want it back."
Yeah.
And depending on who has it, it's like, "Are you okay? Well, come take it." You know, like
Finders keepers.
but and on this side of it, it's like it's all worthless. But Dory left. She had an e-bike. She had all these things and stuff that she had accumulated over years.
Damn,
And she was like,
bike.
"I need out." You know, she was in a very abusive relationship with someone that was very abusive to her, and thank God we got her out of there. I think if we would have been, 30 minutes later or a little bit earlier, we wouldn't have got her. And it's a sad situation for a lot of people. And I've been getting phone calls because of Dory, right? Like, oh, she got out and she just left all her stuff. Like, it must be worth going. So, I think it's interesting to see the effects of all this. Liz says, I know today we are actually filing a police report on my girl's purple Cannondale that was stolen. I owned and paid for. Okay, well, good luck with that one, Liz. Hope you get
You think he's got it?
Who? I don't know. I don't know who's got it, but
The bandit?
the bandit's her
boyfriend.
That's her boyfriend.
So that's a real steal right there. It's
Yeah, but the Kissimmee project's been really good.
Might
I
be
think
closer than you think.
we definitely it definitely was costly. It was worth it. I mean, it's definitely an expensive project. So anybody watching this that wants to help out with that, you can always go to our website, projectexascorp.com, make a donation. I think on average, it's costing us how much per person?
1,500 maybe.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's
Imagine what we
Whatever.
Well, I mean, imagine what we spent $1,500 on back in the day. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, I'm not saying that like, oh, money down the drain, but it does cost a lot. And so I feel like we could help a lot more people if money was there. I mean, we're not telling anyone no. Anybody that's wanting to get out of the woods and get into a recovery program. So far, we're batting 1,000. We got 9 people here. Knock on wood, they're all doing amazing. And we're going to keep going. And 2 dogs, and then 1 girl that's in the hospital waiting to come down here when she gets out May 18th. So it's working, right? It's a project that we didn't know what it was going to look like. We didn't know what the cost was going to be. How many phones do you think we go through when you were out there? Phones? I'm not sure.
well, what do you do with it? That's weird that I didn't see a phone either. No phones.
I've had the same phone number
no phones,
surprisingly
no
for like
bikes.
8 years. First time.
No paraphernalia.
Well,
everything's.
I think a
like-
lot of that has to do with the fact that they've been forcing. We came right when they were all being forced out of these campsites, right? Police just
Forced where though?
What do you mean? You have to leave.
Out, but
yeah,
you go
then
where?
You go
Exactly. It's like they
you
just go
go
find another patch of land.
Yeah.
So the way it works is the police will show up and say, "Hey, you have till Friday to get out." They will then come back Friday, and if you're not out, they take you to jail for
So can
trespassing.
you just not come home Friday to your woods and then
No, I mean, I guess in theory
Like,
that
that
does
wasn't-
happen, but they could potentially
'cause
show
no
up
one's got
anytime.
IDs, so it's like
Yeah, well,
you never
they
talk
know.
to me.
They know. Like they've been dealing with these people.
Yeah.
I mean,
They know them by names and everything.
it's a rough way to live. I mean, what I was saying as far as like we want to help as many people as we possibly can. I think it's going to cost. I think it's not going to. I think in the long run, it's worth it in any capacity, regardless of how
Yeah.
much money it costs. I mean, we're starting to see the test sample at 30 days, right? And in that 30, I think anybody that's been there 30 days is already working, started paying towards their rent, like they're being a little more independent.
Completely different look of life just after 30 days.
I
So
see
imagine
Joey
it's-
like swimming around in the pool today on Facebook. And that's another thing. Big shout out to Justin. We've got a guy in our house named Justin Stowell.
Yeah.
And Justin came into our program how long ago? Not that long ago.
A
couple months ago, and completely broken, defeated,
Yeah.
just
Stole our,
jacked.
yeah, jacked.
stole our hearts.
But I can't, like I seen something in Justin. I was like, this guy needs some friends, man. Like, like I just had a feeling about him. I was like, this guy just needs a chance, and I just threw this on him. I was like, hey, you wanna be part of the Kissimmee project? He's like, yeah, man, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm game. Let's do it. And he's asking me any questions, but he's never said no. I mean, he was out in the woods carrying water. We got to that one camp. He's like, hey, we need to get some dog food. Went across the street, got some dog food.
Oh man, he kissed like 3 or 4 homeless people.
Yeah, like out there hugging people.
Yeah.
He was made for this, man. So big shout out to Justin. Just a loving dude. And
I love the approach to the way that we're doing things and the way that we're handling issues with the men and women in the house, rather than just like disqualifying people or just kicking them out on the streets and taking their money. Like it's, I like how we're approaching it with love and understanding.
I think it's just a different way to do it too. Like
even for the ones that who aren't going to be staying, I don't think we're just putting people out. It's like.
No, we've had to come to like a realization too that there are people in our programs that's been in the program well before we took over that we're enabling them from moving on to a better part of their life. Dennis was a huge example of that. He was a house leader, went over there, and you could just tell like the fire was gone out of him. Like he just wasn't doing his job, but it didn't mean he was like a horrible person. And so we kind of had to just be like, hey man, you got to go. And he had some resentments. But man, it was like the best thing in the world for him. He's got this nice house on the beach, like living his best life.
Yeah.
And, so whether he sees it or not, I look at it like, okay, we did the right thing. And, we've got guys like that in our program that we've had to kind of say, hey man, it's time for you to go. Like, you're way past needing to be here.
Yeah. We've been weeding them out. And I think it's going to continue to do that. We still got some people
That's a lot of paper, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah, it's for our intakes. That brings up another point. We need to get some printers. Let's just find some.
You can get Canons for like $30 or $40.
We need
with
laptops,
scanners.
printers for every house.
I think if we can just get printers where you can print from your cell phone.
Yeah,
that's how I mean, that's really all we need
because there's Wi-Fi in the house. It hooks up to Wi-Fi. I can print from.
You literally walk in, just hit print on any file you open in your phone. From Google Drive. So Liz made an interesting point, and I don't think she knows the death trap she's walking into. She goes, I wish you had houses for couples. And I'm not going to beat up on you, Liz. I'll tell you why there's not very many houses for couples. It really comes down to two main things. The financial portion of it is the hard part. So the way that we run our homes is the new house at Wells, there's 5 bedrooms, a bonus room. I mean, each room, it has at least 2 beds in it. You can't put couples in that situation because of how toxic it is. If you have 4 or 5 couples living in a house daily, insecurity set in super quick.
It's hard to focus on your own personal recovery when you're having to live with another person, especially being new.
Now, we do have couples that are in our program. They live in separate houses. And the way that they typically manage their recovery is they understand they both need help individually, right? Like individually on their own, they need to work on their self. And so and I'm not going to put those couples' names out there, but they work on themselves. And then they have particular times of the week that they do things together. Like they'll go to meetings together, or they'll have a date night one night a week. And on average, I would say you typically see a couple come into a program, and within 6 to 8 months, they're at a point in their life where they've worked on themselves, they've established a routine, and they've saved money to then get their own place, right? Like they then go and find a place of their own. And it's not an eternity. It may feel like an eternity while you're in a program, but it's for the better. Like you're really diving deep into the personal issues and getting your recovery in control. So that's why you don't see more couples, and I don't really suggest like going to a program for couples. Like I don't know that any that they don't exist, but it is difficult, but what's more important, like you really need to get yourself together. I feel like, and I'm not saying this about any particular, but it's kind of selfish, if you're dragging someone else through this, and if you're sticking with someone because they're not ready, it's selfish. Like you can't save somebody else. They have to want it. And it's sad. It truly is.
Yeah, I mean, plus you separate and you get to find out whether you're just with that person for a coping mechanism, and you get to test kind of the boundaries of your codependency with them. So
Yeah.
I think
Codependent.
it's good to just be sober and just dating sober again, the same person that you used to use with,
Yeah.
different ride,
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. It's, because I don't know the statistics behind who works out and who doesn't work out. Like if it's positive,
0%.
yeah, I don't know.
The getting sober part is what needs to happen first,
Mm-hmm.
and being like linked up and living.
Yeah. Because if you're getting sober for someone else, like, it's a good why to have, but you ultimately have to arrive at a point where you're doing it for you. You have to get to that point where it's like, oh, I got to take care of Paul, or I got to take care of myself so I can be better for this other person. And
yeah, I mean, I don't see too many of the relationships even continue or last. Like if they're together in addiction
You were
and then
dating some girl back in the day, weren't you?
yeah.
When we were at Hidden.
what was his name?
I mean, I don't know. Especially if you continue to grow and that person doesn't, either they're still in addiction or they just don't grow. I mean, when you get into recovery, you'll leave someone in the dust real quick, just in the growth of your perception of life and how you treat yourself and other people and just what you want and feel and need for things in life. You know what I mean? You come back to reconnect. I think I dated a girl for a while and I don't think I talked to her for like a year and a half, came back, connected with her. Totally different. Like,
Yeah.
the common perception of life was just gone. You know what I mean? Like I was on a different level and hadn't really noticed it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that happens a lot. If there's no child involved, I don't really see any percentage of, I mean, I don't see really any of these relationships lasting.
Well,
outside
there
that.
are some, like you have your like Sonias and Steves of the world
True.
that, like
I think they were married though.
right.
Going
So
in, I mean, there's
very long-term relationship,
Yeah.
One form or another. And there are people that, put their relationship on hold. I mean, I think Lacey and Greg are a big example of that. Like I don't want to say they put it on hold, but they definitely are both working individual programs for the betterment of themselves and still have a really good relationship together. So there's some really good examples of people that do it. I mean, that do make it. But Joel has a really good point. It's like, you get into this program and you start discovering yourself, right? And it doesn't mean you're both going to progress at the same rate. I mean, it's very unlikely that you do. Some people are going to go through have different traumas to address. There's some people that are just going to get over here and not want it and don't want nothing to do with it and they're just not ready. But you may be ready. And you may think there's no way I'm going back to living like that. Like my life's good. I have a good job. I feel good. My confidence back. I'm healthy. And it's really hard to say. Like you can't really predict it. And you really can't live in the mirage of it's going to work. However, I do have a lot of faith that like if you put yourself first and the other person has the same ambitions, everything's going to be fine either way.
Well, even a relationship not in recovery or battling addiction or whatever, if you guys don't grow at the same rate, there's going to always be some type of issue. I think,
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take away from the fact it is scary. Like I can imagine that would hold a lot of people back. Like I don't want to lose this person, and it's a difficult decision to make. You have to get out of that comfort zone. I mean, like, and I'm talking to Liz, like, I love you, Liz. And I know you so well personally. You're such a great person. You saved my life numerous times. I mean, nothing against living in a hotel and efficiency. I'm not trying to talk down on you, but like, I mean, you guys deserve so much better than that. Like you owe it to yourself and, I'm here, whenever, if you're ready, if it's something that you're considering, please give me a call. I'd love to tell you about the program and how we can help you. And be of service to you and how we can give you a hand up in this next stage. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying you have to do these things, but like, I encourage you to give it a try. Andrew, check. Andrew went jet skiing today.
Friday out, my allergies just started messing with me a couple days ago. So got that going on. Then sunscreen and salt water in my ass, just ripping it up.
Yeah, I was calling him today. He don't usually just ignore me.
Yeah, he's on that open water, man.
I don't know. I drove by his house. He was standing out in the front yard, no shirt on, no shoes on, just
Yeah.
standing there staring off into blank space.
Yeah,
It's a brand new
Psych
jet
meds.
ski, not even 1 mile on the thing,
Whose was it?
or hour, 1 hour.
Oh, I got
The
it.
the lady that took me to Eden a couple times. She's like, she had
The
invited Eden.
dentist?
Yeah, she invited Eden to go.
Andrew has the craziest ways. No, I mean, like,
She invited Eden to go jet skiing, and then he wasn't here. I was like, "Can I go?" She's like, "Yeah." She said he can go next
So-
weekend too.
I
So
didn't even.
So
I wish
you
you'd
don't-
have invited me.
Set you on his
someone
way.
else said that too. I was like, "They're not mine. What am I gonna do?"
Andrew's like,
You think
"Screw
me and you
guys."
could be
Yeah.
riding on the jet ski together? We could.
Yeah.
It's a 3-seater.
But he wasn't here.
What?
Anyway,
Eden?
guess who met their dad for the first time in 27 years this week? Last week.
Oh, hold on.
Joel.
Are you serious?
Where you're doing math over there? You're trying.
He's like, hold on. Your father?
With today?
No, I did Monday.
Yeah.
I probably messaged him on Messenger. I don't know.
I'm just
10,
finding out when
15
did you
times
find out
over the-
about this?
What was that
Okay.
message like? It's just dad? Question mark.
Papa?
Are you my
You
dad?
mean on Messenger or
Yeah.
what? It was like happy birthday. Yeah, maybe like once a year type thing.
He's like,
you know,
who's
just kinda
this
reaching
loser?
out, you know? So it was
Such a
weird.
weirdo.
Yeah, so I got a Chick-fil-A yesterday. Remember I was talking to you? And I was like, hey, I got to go. I got an important call. It was Joel. And
He didn't say that.
I don't remember how.
It was close.
But I was in the drive-through. Joel's like busting my balls about, are you getting the fries? Don't get the fries. And
Did you get him?
No.
He's lying.
Yeah,
gotta go.
But he's telling me, it's like, I was actually saying, so we'll go into like how it brought up, but he tells me he meets his dad or sees his dad.
Yeah.
Down in
On
Venice.
Monday.
Met him in person at Sharky's down in Venice.
Dudes, he sent me a
And
picture.
my
of him.
stepmom.
He's a monster. Dude, Joel in a picture next to him looks like a dwarf.
Yeah, I think he's 6'5", almost 6'5.5".
They look similar. Like they
Does he like you? Is he
Like
weird? and,
personality?
Introvert? Yeah.
No, I think he's probably personality wise, probably more like my brother or something. And it's weird
Do you have a
seeing.
brother?
Yeah, it's weird seeing.
He's grazed right over that.
Yeah, it's weird seeing someone that you haven't seen since your childhood. So you're kind of mapping out their behaviors and their mannerisms, their personality from an
And it's
adult
your father.
perspective. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. I almost called you guys just because I was so nervous. I'm like, man, this is just so weird, you know. And I
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody.
Did you guys hug?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's weird for me hugging. You know what I mean? It's all
He'll grab you just
breaking new ground.
That's so
so
cool, man. Like I can't
That was
imagine as a dad though, like in his position, it's like this is my boy.
What
Like,
is-
you know,
Where does he
I'm-
live?
Michigan.
I'm sure he's like super proud of you.
Oh, he came down here just to meet you?
No,
Oh,
I
Of course
think,
not.
I think I think they were just are there in like a friend's condo or something. I
Interesting.
mean, he's reached out a few times when the family was in Florida, and I just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't deal with even the slightest bit of awkwardness. You know what I mean? So it was like that.
That's a big step for Joel though. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like I mean, I'm really happy for you, man. That's really cool. Like, you know, like Joel does not tell us this stuff. Like I mean, a week went by before he even tells us, hey, I met my dad. I see my dad for the first time in
Dude,
27
my dad
years.
lives in North. My dad lives 30 minutes away, and I almost never even get a phone call from him.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'll tell you how this got brought up. So most people don't know. So on May 4th, I'm going to be flying back to Alabama. It's the first time I've went to Alabama, definitely since I've been sober, but I don't think I've been there since like 2020 or 2019. I can't remember. When my grandmother passed away. And there's several reasons that I'm going, but the main reason that I'm going back is my grandmother on my mom's side is just not doing good. You know, she's not doing good at all. And at the same time, I don't think I've ever shared this on the podcast. In 2021, I was adopted by my grandmother, and she has one daughter named Donna. And so when I was growing up, Donna had 2 kids. Her oldest son, Michael, who is my age, like first day of kindergarten, t-ball, like we just grew up together. And she has a younger son that's 10 years younger than me and his brother Michael. That, you know, when I was like 16, he was in kindergarten. So this kid like grew up with like Secret Service type security. Like, you know, this kid was, you know, like just our little brother, you know. And back in 2021, there was some altercation where the older brother went to visit the younger brother, and the younger brother shot and killed the older one. And it's to this day, I still really don't know what happened, why this took place. It's never been explained to me. I don't think anyone really knows the truth.
He's been in jail this whole time.
No, he bonded out about a week after. And this is what makes it really unusual is the younger brother's name is Chad, and Chad was just a good kid, man. Like got right out of school, went to work for Snap-on, like it was saved all his money, didn't do anything. He wasn't a drug addict or an alcoholic, as far as I know. Like he's just a good kid and saved all his money. So he gets arrested. He's in jail for about a week, lawyers up, gets bonded out on a rather high bond. And he's been out ever since. And no, I haven't talked to him. I don't think his mom's talked to him. Like, you know, he's just really distanced himself. I don't know why. I would imagine there's probably some shame, some guilt, you know, a lot of regret. However, his trial starts on the 5th. So I'm going to fly up on the 4th. And while I'm there, I'm going to visit my grandmother. I'm going to go to this trial for whatever I can be part of. I think it's kind of selfish to say this, but I was in active addiction when it happened, so I wasn't there for my family during the funeral. Like I didn't go home, and I think I was kind of grieving in my own way, not a good way. But I also feel like I want some closure to this. You know, I really kind of want to know what happened, why this took place, whether it was, I mean, justified or not. Like I just kind of want to be there for my family. But the other two reasons that I'm going to be there. So my brother, who's currently in prison, he's a recovering drug addict. He's been in there for 2 years. He gets out in August, and I talk to him pretty consistently. He doesn't want to go back to Athens. He hears about what I'm doing down here. He wants to come and give recovery a shot. So I'm going to meet with his probation officer when he gets out to see if we can just get an immediate transfer. Me and Andrew.
You're going to do that when you're there?
Yeah, I'm going to go have those meetings, see if I can get that stuff set up.
Business trip.
And then
Can we rent a car?
I'm flying.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, in August,
In August, yeah, absolutely.
fly and then drive back.
Whatever. I don't know. I just
try to cut
whatever
your-
Joel's gonna pay for. But and then the other reason, it didn't really occur to me till yesterday when I talked to Joel, and this is what brought up the dad thing. So my dad has been in active addiction my entire life. And as far as I know, he lives in a barn somewhere behind someone's house. And I talked to my aunt. And I was like, "Hey, do you ever see my dad?" She's like, "Yeah, he was here a couple weeks ago, cut some wood for, I guess make a couple bucks." And so I got to thinking, I was like, well, I'm going up there. I'm going to go to try to find him. And at least now I'm equipped with the knowledge of recovery. And I was telling Joel, I was like, how cool would it be if I could get my dad to come back and get into a house?
That'd be cool.
And then that's when Joel was like, oh, I've met my dad for the first time in 27 years, you know? And so, yeah, I'm going up there and I'll fly back on the 8th. And the only reason I'm really coming back on the 8th instead of the 10th, I was like booking my flight and I'm talking to Shelby, like, hey, you know, here's what I'm planning on doing. So I think I want to come back on the 10th. She goes, why? So you're 3 years, you're going to be in a different state? How are you going to get your medallion? I was like, oh, yeah, I got to fly back on the 8th. So I'm coming back on a Thursday so I can be here with you guys
Why?
so you can celebrate me. So you
Why?
can celebrate me.
Great.
No,
Another celebration.
I'm 10 days after you. You said that. I completely forgot. I'm like, holy crap, that's next month.
yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The longest in my entire life since I was
Today's
12.
the 19th, so a month from today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let's look it up. Let's see how many days.
Yeah, so that's
How many years is it? 3?
3.
3.
You got 3 too.
2 years.
You almost got 3.
1,066
3.5.
days.
Huh?
1,066 for me, and you must have 1,076.
Yeah. So to be clear to anybody listening to this stuff works.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff works if you do it. If you
Oh.
want it and you come down here and you're willing to like put your bias and pride aside and say, hey, I'll do whatever you guys say, like, you know, and take the honest advice of recovery, it works. And
Remember when I told I got a call today from a number when I was driving back from just tearing it up on the skis, and I recognized the number, so I answered it, and it's this guy. He's like, "Is this Andrew?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Andrew Mitchell?" I'm like, "No." And I just thought it was maybe somebody I owed money to. So I was like questioning, well, what do you want? And he's like, oh, I'm just looking. He's like, you know Eddie on Chrysler? And I'm like, Chrysler is a few streets over from the Bernadette house.
Oh, he
And
wants some dope.
no, but it's a guy. He lives in this Indian guy lives in the house, owns the house, or his mom owns the house. And I used to get high there, and I've overdosed in the house, and so I'm talking to this guy that I used to,
Yeah.
be homeless and just, he'd let me get high in his house. Anyways, he's like, "How you doing?" And I was like, "Oh man, I got 3 years clean next month, and I got custody of my son." And he was like, "Man, I'm so happy for you." He's like, "You should stop by and say hi." If it's not gonna, I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I'm definitely not going over there, but
He's like, man, it's my best customer. Come out and
Yeah.
see
no, I
me.
wasn't even a customer. I was more like a fucking nuisance because I'd be, just like
Back
knocking on
again.
his door when
You
he's
get
in there
20.
tweaking out, like trying to get him to slide me some rocks under the door, and just
Please.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Whatever.
I got money this time.
next
Got a
time.
jet ski.
It just like it brought me back,
Yeah.
to like overdosing and then getting robbed while I was dying on the floor in his bathroom.
Gross.
Yep. And then I managed to get my wallet back like a month later.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it turned up.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff's taken place since the last time we did this show. I mean, obviously the houses, the meeting, stuff happens quick, man. It takes a very short amount of time for like our lives to just completely evolve. And I mean, it's all really based because of the AA meetings, the recovery homes. And so if you're out there listening to this, just know that if you're struggling with addiction or you're contemplating whether to get sober or reach out, please reach out to us. I mean, you can go to our website, projectexodushomes.com. There's a place where you can put in an application there, or at least contact us and we'll reach out. You can message us on Facebook. You can also check out the nonprofit site, projectexoduscorp.com. There's information about what we do there. You can see some of our recovery merch if you're interested in donating to help some of these people that are trying to get into recovery. I mean, the initial cost for anybody for any program is roughly between $260 to upwards of $400.
Let's just say there's an even around 500 if they need a phone.
Yep.
If they need a bus pass.
Phone
if
bus pass.
Yeah, we're just talking about like base level necessities, like
rent.
yeah. I mean, and what we do is with the money that we raise, we help cover those costs. And
if we don't have it, we give it to them anyways.
Yeah, we've. I don't want to make it sound like we're sacrificing ourselves.
It's unheard of. You can't get in anywhere without money or at least a job. Like no one's letting you in with nothing.
Yeah, and it's crazy. We did
and helping
this,
you get a job and helping you get a bike. And
we did this all with no funding, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we know how to like. We have the rest, the recipe, at least a general idea of what it takes. And
Andrew was he was driving us back, and I remember he looked over me and it's like, I've been in so many programs, nobody ever
don't
give me a phone, like
yank me out of the woods.
Yanked me out of the
phone
woods, took her straight to Walmart, got her some clothes, like that was another thing that people are like, I can't leave all my stuff. I'm like, you're gonna get new stuff.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
what do you mean I'm getting new stuff? Like, we're gonna go to Walmart, we're gonna get you some clothes, like we're gonna get you a bus pass, we're gonna make sure you have what you need. So we're literally gonna hold your hand through this entire process. You won't be alone.
While you guys were in Walmart, her dog bit me in the face.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, well,
I was like leaning on the dog and petting the puppy
with the dog.
I mean, it's not surprised.
Who knows what was going on?
I was like, whoa, girl, sorry, I get you.
Because he was like, yeah, I'll just stay and watch the dog.
I climbed in the back seat. It was like petting the dog, the other one. She snapped at my face. I was like, okay, let me get back in the front seat.
She could tell.
She's been through this before. Yeah.
She knew what you were bringing to the table. So one update I wanted to tell you about. So I just realized, I don't know what episodes it was, but I announced on here I was going to start going back to the gym. And Andrew and I have been going to the gym pretty regularly. Like recently,
I've been going, but yeah, apologies.
Excuse me.
I need to steal your thunder.
He never shows up. Every day he's late.
Where were you this morning? I went this morning.
Yesterday I was like, 7. You want to go to the gym in the morning on a Saturday? He's like, I don't go to the gym on my days off. I don't get up that early on my days off. And then at 5, like right at
earlier than that.
Yeah, like 4:50.
I'm up
because he had been up all night, doing whatever
I went to bed at 10
nonsense. Yeah, but anyway,
I got up. I made chicken salad. I waited until Crunch opened at 7. And
chicken salad.
I will tell you the one thing that I'm so shocked about is it's like it's not the number on the scale. right? That hasn't like drastically changed. It's like the waist size, the image in the
Yeah.
mirror, like
Pecs.
the strength, like
Plus, your work ethic's getting better. Just consistently getting up and
Yeah.
doing something that, regardless of whether you want to, especially on the mornings you don't want to do it, you don't want to get out of bed, and you don't want to lift heavy.
I don't
weights in the
like
morning,
going when it's weird to say. I don't like going when
it
Andrew
changes
don't
your brain, man.
go. I've went a few times and did just what if it was back day and he didn't go, I just did what we normally do. I enjoy. There goes Nicole.
Yeah,
Let's go.
He don't like switching it up either. I'm like, let's do. He's like, no, but we start with this. I'm like, oh, we're gonna.
I
do
just
this
the
today."
routine of it
You
all.
got
Like
headphones in the whole time?
if they're working, yeah.
What's going on?
I've been going through a rough transition with headphones lately.
Why? Like what?
I couldn't get them to connect one day, and then Andrew gave me
You got
some. And,
Bluetooth issues.
yeah, one of them didn't work, but it's like I have headphones in, but the camaraderie, like the companionship,
You-
the camaraderie.
You like the
Sorry.
you like the
The camaraderie.
Yeah,
Loves the
The
talk.
camaraderie.
You're one of the
I think you're
talkers
talking.
in the
Yeah,
gym.
that's something different.
Just
I don't-
yapping.
I want to say, yeah, like when I first started, I was just so excited. Now I just really enjoy. I enjoy the accountability. Like
You're gonna make me camaraderie. Sorry.
I won't be editing this for
Yeah.
hours.
Uh,
But yeah, like it's YouTube always asks if this is kid friendly.
yeah, totally.
No,
So that's a word.
never know. But like the gym has been so good for me mentally. The days I don't go, I hate myself. And I don't hate myself, but it sets the tone for my entire day.
You know what I noticed for me is the days that I do go to the gym, I eat better throughout the day. Because I suck at meal prepping. But like if I work out that morning, I have my shake, I make my breakfast, I have lunch, and I'm not eating
kind of
garbage.
sets the tone.
The
for rest of
weekends are where when I slack.
The crazy
Except-
thing is the amount of people that go to the gym in the morning that we know.
the- Yeah.
The Greg, the Nicole, the
It's a-
Flip,
it's a
the
whole-
Nolan.
It's the whole gym. It started to become the whole gym.
Yeah. So when are you the talker in the gym? I don't have to be. Like people are coming up left and right, dapping us up, like, just like what's up? Like it's just
Can I get a picture with you?
yeah, like
Saw my,
Celebrities.
yeah.
you saw my shirt.
Andrew's always like super flexing.
You bring a marker with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even
Now we
ask.
know
You
why Dory brought all those markers. She was,
Yeah. Autographs in the gym.
yeah.
People they don't even ask. He just sign the
Paul was like,
shirts.
bring all those markers, man.
Yeah. I think she threw all that stuff away. I told her I was like, just throw all this stuff away. I'll just get you some.
I'll buy you new stuff, but you
Yeah,
have to throw the old
please
stuff
throw
away.
it away. But the gym has been good. I don't know how many. It's well past day 75. Originally, it was like do 75 days, and it's way past day 75. Like it's a routine now. It's
Feel
like
better
so much better
than
Like,
before when you were like, man, I want to get back in the gym.
Oh yeah, remember I told you I'd set out my car just scared to go inside. It's like I get pissed if someone takes my key hook. Like
What number you go for?
23.
Really?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The GOAT. So, but it's good. Like,
I don't know, dude.
he doesn't know.
I keep them in my pocket. I trust those sons of bitches. Keep.
He's got so he doesn't
Dude, the
It's
other,
just a habit. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have that at Crunch.
what? The key right? Yeah, they
hook.
do.
They don't have a key hook at Crunch.
Yes, they do.
They do not.
Yeah, they're numbered. So
Yeah.
you-
It's to the right of
not
the
at
desk.
Not at the Crunch on the Crunch.
Oh,
Yes.
On Bee Ridge, they don't.
Yes, they do. Unless they took it down.
They don't.
yeah, isn't it right when you walk in towards the machines?
To the right. When you go to the desk, you go to the right of the desk. It's right there.
I don't
I
know.
never go there. I just go straight for
Crunch,
the
you
dumbbells,
keep them
which is
in
on the
your,
other
yeah, you
side.
keep them in your
So
pocket.
I don't go to like the little elliptical machines.
Ruthie
I go-
said, I started. I can't be around you guys at this weight. LOL. Talking about going to the gym. Becca said, this program has helped me tremendously.
I love you, Becca.
Yeah, I love you,
my
Becca. We're so
dog.
proud of you. Like, I mean, we genuinely are. Like, I'm so proud of like how you came into this and you just decided, like, I'm going to do this. JT says, no, they don't have that crunch.
They don't have a Crunch. I'm trying to tell you, dog.
Thanks, JT. Now we have to go do a live stream from Crunch
Yeah.
to find out. Now I know where to find you.
Let's bring,
Miami said I know where to find you.
23.
Yeah. Let's bring a Project Access key thing.
Yeah, let's get them one. Yeah, Crunch is. I went there for a while and then just left them with a massive bill. Just neglect. No,
Chunky stuff.
Junky stuff.
It's in collections.
I remember when I really like Amped. just the
Tall ceilings, man.
yeah,
that's
like
where
the
it's at.
whole atmosphere in there.
Tall ceilings.
Tall
Like you go in the crunch, it's like just having that open.
Well, that university one is small, but the one on Bee Ridge is bigger. Tall ceilings, taller.
The one down there at Bee Ridge and Tuttle's really nice. I like the one on Beneva, the one we go to in the morning better.
The amps.
And
Yeah, you're in a like a gymnasium type.
dude, I went to that crunch on University like one time to meet Joel or something. I don't know. It was horrible. But I did go at like 6 in the evening. Like it was
Packed. Your
oh my
shoulder, shoulder
gosh. I
working
got
out.
like you deal with anxiety and go there.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's part of it's him stepping into his fear, man. He
yeah.
just
That
goes
was my
right in.
program. You guys
I
thought
worked
I was
right
going
next
to the
amp
gym.
and get some
As
sandwiches.
soon as he walks in, he's
Will
like,
do.
"Oh God,
12 stepping.
can I use that machine next,
Yeah,
please?"
Oh my gosh.
trying to coordinate my grunts with everybody
You
else.
should see Andrew.
Just doing it at the wrong time.
Yeah,
Ah!
I think in the last 2
That's
weeks,
how-
also Andrew had like a back injury. I've
Oh yeah, my
I
shoulder.
think my shoulders completely gone.
all the
Ego lifting.
yeah.
You dude, I'll tell you how mine happened. So like I've been working my way back up to like a comfortable number on bench press. And
There you go.
so and
Yeah, the comfortable with who?
with
Yourself?
for me, like, you know, when I
Yeah,
quit
man.
working out, like I mean, I think my max was like 265. I got one rep at 265, but like 225 I could do. Now it was like I was struggling, but this last chest day we went and I'm like, he puts on 185 or something. I'm like, you know, let me try it.
205.
I did 2 reps, but I like it by the set. I was like, heck yeah. And I got up and I just knew right away, like my shoulder was on fire
Yeah.
and it was just a little too soon.
I don't go over that. I mean, I guess if I had a spot, I just work out with 185. every
Yeah.
time.
Don told that to me in the gym one day. I was like, oh, why don't you go past 165? He's like, because I'm building forever muscle. It was like the best one liner. Like
And then walked away, or
just walked off. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he
But
yeah, Dom's cool, man. He's just chill as the other side of the pillow. But yeah, he's like, but that makes a lot of sense. It's like we'll go up to whatever the max is, and then we'll come back down to like 135, and you know, just do burnouts, as Andrew calls them. But it's. I feel like this is probably one of the best starts to going to the gym and having a really good routine, like doing legs every week. We were doing Stairmaster every Wednesday for a few weeks. We haven't done that.
it's cool because you're getting back into it, so you're able to kind of make those like beginner gains and lose body fat at the same time. And that's super hard to do.
Happy Easter. Ruthie said, have a great Easter. Keep up the great work. Talk to you. You too, Ruthie. Thank you so much for everything you do. If you're watching this, please go follow Sue and Ruthie on Facebook. Do amazing work in Kissimmee. They help us out so much, helping transport people down here from up there. Like they were kind of our tour guides when we went to Kissimmee. Like, Rebecca said, do y'all do clean and jerks? Well, we've got some clean jerks in our houses. Andrew used to do some pretty decent lifting. I don't know what you would call
I
it.
never
power
did
lifting.
cleans or clean jerks on myself, just deadlifts and
Yeah.
heavy.
I got some
Power
videos.
lifting.
I'll send them to you, Becca. I'm sure you'd enjoy them. Angel Cowell says, hi, guys. Pink heart.
Hi, Ma.
Hey, Mom. How's Mom doing?
She's the same. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Best
Did
mom
you tell her
ever.
we almost put 2 dogs in her backyard the other day?
No, I didn't.
She would have loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
How
would
many
I
dogs
would have
you got
loved it
over
too.
Just
Just
one
one.
now.
Now.
For the moment. For the moment. Usually there's a different. They have like a whole wall.
They need a pack.
Well, luckily, like
Dogs
so.
need a pack.
Just a big wall of all the dogs.
Yeah, so Dory came down. She had 2 dogs. We put them at one of our houses temporarily, and we moved. We found another place for them, and now they have a great backyard. Everything worked out great with that. But yeah, we would not normally do that. So ever again, never doing it again. No.
Hungry.
Oh.
I'm gonna go.
You hush up, Paul. Clean and jerk is more Olympic lifting. Oh, they're going at it in the chat. Nicole's out there. Get them.
Yeah, they are. It's like Olympics. It's like
started that fire.
I want to say Rebecca used to do like lifting, like competitive lifting in like high
yeah,
school.
that's what she was saying.
Get all these people into the. Maybe we should start doing gym memberships for everyone.
Look, I'm
Maybe we could
Well-
even like we do. I give a free Crunch membership, but it's through my work, and they do some type of marketing where they
Get
pay. We
Joel
get
over
5
here.
free memberships.
What? I mean, we should get them in there. You know,
Well, no, like, you
they
go-
have to wear a
they have
shirt
those
too. when they go.
yeah. I'm gonna get a shirt for. You remember those gym shirts I was making that like it had like gears on it? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not natural.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know one guy in our program that's getting one of those.
man,
Yeah.
maybe two.
Too.
We're not-
He did it like this. He went maybe two.
Maybe two.
I was doing clean and jerks in high school. Went to regional stack out back out there
Man.
lifting them weights.
Time to get back in it.
Yeah.
Get the whole house in there.
We do have some really good people in recovery in our program or with Project Exodus that are really involved in the gym. And I mean, it's I think it's one of the cheat codes for recovery. If you can get in there and just expend.
Throw some new coping mechanisms into your lifestyle, man.
Yeah. But rather than
Probably balance though, can't just be all about.
Have we
Dude.
balanced anything in life?
No, like some people will just
Look
solely
how hard
focus.
we took. We got into recovery. Look at how far we went. Like we probably took a junkie
But some people are so focused.
styled recovery.
Yeah,
Some people are so focused on building their outside, and they'll get obsessed with the gym. So
Well, I
it's
mean,
just a balance.
you'll obsess. You're absolutely right. Like
yeah, you're on point.
you're going to obsess with something. Like, and it may be women, men. It
Yeah.
may be the gym. It could be food.
Might obsess with everything on the outside,
It
from
could
the
be
car
recovery homes,
to your
nonprofits.
aesthetics, to your home, to everything.
Yeah, I mean, look at his condo. Just he went and put like wood paneling up, ripped it down, all kinds of weird LED lights.
Everything's
You gotta
black,
tweak the
black floors, black walls.
He's like, "Hey Alexa, Batman mode."
Yeah,
It's the Batcave.
I wouldn't mind that, man.
Yeah. What are those beds that fold out of the wall?
I mean, that is straight Batman type stuff. Yeah, I think he lived alone. It was freaking
Well, he had Alfred.
isolated.
He had
Yeah,
Alfred.
That's what I did.
He had
Rent out the other room for an Alfred.
He's got an
Master
Alfred.
Wayne.
Yeah, he's like
Professor, I could
Master Ross.
He sent me a picture the other day of his roommate cleaning his wheels on his car. I think he's taking a picture of him to the window.
My Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Master Ross.
Master Ross. All right. So what
Happy
else,
Easter.
guys? Happy Easter. We're glad we're back. Murphy Beds. JT dropped it. Thanks, JT. Murphy Beds.
How does he know that?
JT probably has a Murphy bed in his
His
room.
truck?
No, like in his truck.
Yeah.
We love you, JT. It's like, oh, who's that?
It's for the
It's
ladies.
for the ladies. Yeah, but big shout out to everyone that commented. Thank you so much for interacting with us. We'll have a post-production version of this coming up in the next few days that I'll post. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on there. You can check us out on all the podcast platforms. If you haven't checked us out, again, our meeting started back up. This week is Ladies Night with Angela, Beth, Sonia, and Nicole. It starts at 7 o'clock. It's at 1801 North Lockwood Ridge Road, Grace Life Church. It's an amazing meeting. We have a ton of fun. Please come by and say hi to us.
Or watch it Facebook Live.
Watch it on Facebook Live as well.
Shout out.
Yep.
Reach out to us. Chat with us.
It's a really good way to get involved.
Who's next after that? Is that Flip?
No, I think it's oh wait, who is the 25th?
Can't remember.
Nicole, who's on the last Friday or the last Wednesday of the month? She'll let us know. But nevertheless, check out the meeting. It's a really good way to get involved in recovery. It's not designated for any one type of issue. It's really about anybody that just wants to help and get involved. Stacy is the last week on. Stacy's gonna be amazing. So the next 2 weeks we definitely got some hitters. I don't think I'm back on stage. I think me and you two and Flip are doing the second Wednesday of next month.
Good.
Chanel's sharing her story on the first Wednesday. We got some really good meetings coming up. Miami, we talking about weightlifting? Yeah, not running. I'm loving the comments here. So thanks again for checking out the Project Exodus Corp podcast. We'll try to get back on here maybe next Saturday, maybe not. We'll see. We're Thursday. What do you think, Andrew? What's your schedule like now? I know your schedule's completely different. Right.
I just, I have
Somebody get this guy a Nutri-Grain bar.
no. I have it's the same. I have a job that's hot,
Third,
and I have my kid, and so
So Saturday.
and we
nights.
still it'll be a I'll be missing 2 nights with the Wednesday night meeting. If we do the podcast Thursday, then it's 2 nights I don't get to see.
Yeah, so we'll get a routine in place. We're gonna try to do something recording. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite things that we actually do is like come in here and just chat it up and interact with the people in the chat. And I do think it's important not only for us for the community, but as Project Exodus grows, it gets a little more difficult for each of us to contribute so much time to this. So we'll see what God has in store for it. We're definitely not stopping it, but we may
Stay tuned.
we have to find a way to be more consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for the podcast. Love you guys. We'll talk to you again next time. My name is Paul.
Joel. See you guys.
Andrew.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Peace.